DJDS.
Good morning, Tova! You look so beautiful as usual.
In this week's Parsha Vayikra, Hashem commands Bnei Yisrael to build the vessels for the Mishkan, including the two-winged cherubim for the top of the ark. In Exodus chapter 37, verse 7, the text says, "He made two cherubim of gold. He made them of hammered work at the two ends of the cover." These cherubim were meant to perform the Avishur's duty down on earth. Another definition describes the cherubim as an angel of the Avishur whose gift is knowledge. The Torah describes in detail what the cherubim looked like. Ezekiel the prophet stated in a vision of each of the cherubim had four faces: a human, a lion, an ox, and an eagle. Sounds almost as unbelievable as the amount of Funko Pops Josh manages to fit in his office. Rashi, however, says that the cherubim were children. For some reason, God specifically chose children to guard and watch over the Holy of Holies, which held the Jews' most prized possession. Why would God want to have two inexperienced children be the guards of such an important thing? What is God trying to tell us through this? To answer this question, we must look into some other Torah sources regarding cherubim. First, it is important to know cherubim do not only appear in this week's Parsha. The first time they appear is in the Garden of Eden, when Adam and Eve ate the fruit from the forbidden tree and got kicked out of the garden. God places cherubim with fiery swords to guard the garden so humanity will never be able to come back in. It was interesting to me that cherubim, which are children according to Rashi, appeared both as guards in the Garden of Eden and as guardians of the Mishkan. It seems like these two appearances of the cherubim were opposite. In the Garden of Eden, the cherubim were fiery, violent guards, and in the Mishkan, they were symbols of love and peace. I would like to suggest, however, that the cherubim in the Garden of Eden and in the Mishkan serve the same purpose. I think that the cherubim in the Garden of Eden were not meant to keep all of humanity out in a violent and formidable manner. Rather, the cherubim, the children, were the ones tasked with keeping humanity on the right path. There is a misconception that we are handed down the world from older generations and have to keep traditions going. But the truth is that children are the only ones who can keep humanity on the right path by contributing new things to the world. The cherubim were not only keeping us out of the garden, they were also encouraging us to leave our marks and make our own paths on the outside world. The cherubim in the Mishkan serve the same purpose. There is a midrash that says, whenever Bnei Yisrael was disconnected, the cherubim would face away from each other in anger. But when Bnei Yisrael was unified, the cherubim would face each other in collaboration and love. Here too, children represent humanity and how we must remain on the right path. Children are the only ones who can advance Bnei Yisrael and humanity forward. And I can see you looking a little worried over there, Ms. Knowles, but it's all backed up by science. Studies show that children are able to take in information much faster than adults because of something called neuroplasticity. This just means that children's brains are able to change connections, pathways, and wiring based on experiences they have. Joe Fallon, a journalist based in London, said, "Babies are able to tune into rhythm and sounds used in their native language and can therefore be competent and fluent speakers by the age of 4. This innate ability is what allows children to pick up languages very fast." My first word was when I was 9 months old and I said mama. This was the first time I was able to take things I had learned from the world from the time I was born and use them more vocally. Have you ever wondered why babies can't talk, but then a year or two later they won't shut up? It's because of neuroplasticity that basically makes kids' brains into human sponges. They are shaped by experiences that happen in their youth, while their brains are still being formed. For this reason, our youth is an extremely crucial part of our development and the people we will become in the future. As children, the societal norms have been set upon us us by past generations don't exist to us yet. We are able to coexist with other people despite whether our parents will be friends. Unlike in high school or in college or beyond, kids are not judgmental. No one cares about what you wear or what things you like to do. All kids care about is having fun and eating sugar. But as they grow older, this lack of judgment fades into the distance, and we are left with whoever the kid has been formed into by the people around them during their childhood. Perhaps this is why our world is so disconnected. Everyone is in such a rush to grow up, they don't take time on their personal development. We push away our inner child so quickly that it is impossible to get back. Maybe, just maybe, if we could try harder to keep our inner child alive, to keep the unified, sugar-seeking, peacemaking child alive, we would be able to coexist and collaborate. If you haven't already figured out, this week is Color War. This week is all about collaboration and teamwork, and everything is led by kids. While Color War is about gaining leadership skills and working as a team, it is also about competition. Most of us in this room are very competitive and want to win, but we must remember that the most important thing is to support each other so we can be unified regardless of which team we are on. If we don't, the cherubim will face away from each other, symbolizing our failure to choose the correct path. With this in mind, as we move into the final night, I encourage all of us to keep in mind the message of the Abishur was trying to convey through making children the guardians of the ark. The youth are the ones who will take humanity on the correct path and ultimately lead us to a brighter future. Now, I just have one question for you to ponder.
Who's gonna win this color war?